From one leader who is conceding, let's turn to another who refuses to back down. We're talking about Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He has overseen more than 100 days of the Israel-Hamas war. He's fighting against numerous opponents. There's Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, Iran-backed militias in Syria, and the list just keeps growing. But Netanyahu has responded to all of them in the same way, with brute force.
We are continuing the war on all fronts and in all sectors. We are not giving immunity to any terrorist. Not in Gaza, not in Lebanon, not in Syria, and not anywhere. Whoever tries to harm us, we will harm him.
This is what has led to the leveling of Gaza and the more than 25,000 deaths there. Netanyahu had said that he had one goal: the elimination of Hamas for the safety and security of Israel. That's what he started with. And his allies were on board with that. But now his goalpost seems to have shifted.
Therefore, I clarify that in any arrangement in the foreseeable future, with an accord or without an accord, the State of Israel must have security control over the entire territory west of the Jordan River. That's a necessary condition. It clashes with the principle of sovereignty. What can you do?
Netanyahu says that Israel will have security control over everything west of the Jordan River. That means both Gaza and the West Bank. Both are Palestinian territories. He wants security control on both. And he admits that this clashes with the principle of sovereignty. In other words, Netanyahu is against an independent Palestinian state. And this has been a controversial point. Should there be one state with both Israelis and Palestinians, or two states, one for Israelis and one for Palestinians? That has been the question for very long. Now, most of Israel's allies are in favor of a two-state solution, one for Israelis and one for Palestinians. And Israelis themselves have so far not rejected the possibility outright. There are some who do reject it, and they were considered fringe elements. But now we have Israel's Prime Minister saying the same thing, rejecting a two-state solution. His statement has not been received well, both by his allies and his adversaries. The Muslim nations have come out and slammed him. Jordan, for instance, says Netanyahu is defying the whole international community. Turkey says there can't be lasting peace in West Asia without a Palestinian state. Saudi Arabia has refused to normalize ties with Israel without a free Palestine. And this was bound to happen. These reactions are on expected lines. What should worry Israel more is how its allies have responded to this, including the Western allies. They're turning on Netanyahu. Some are mild in their criticism.
I think it's very disappointing that Benjamin Netanyahu has said that. It's not in some senses a surprise. He's spent his entire political career against a two-state solution. But the point is, which other routes is there to seriously resolve this?
Some allies are more direct.
I think that we have to stop talking about the peace process, and start talking more concretely about the two-state solution process.
But one particular ally seems to be in denial.
Mr. President, is a two-state solution impossible if Bibi's in power?
I think we'll be able to work something out.
What does that mean?
There are a number of types of two-state solutions. There's a number of countries that are members of the UN that are still don't have their own militaries. A number of states that have limitations on it. And so I think there's ways in which this could work.
But Bibi has said he's opposed to any of two-state solutions.
Biden is determined to defend Netanyahu, and the rest of the West is not so enthused about this. Even the citizens of Israel are not thrilled, especially the family members of the people taken hostage by Hamas. They're outside the Prime Minister's house, planning to camp there till he finds a way to free the hostages. There are regular protests in Israel. People are calling for early elections, even though Netanyahu still has almost 3 years left in this term as Prime Minister. Everywhere he turns, Benjamin Netanyahu is under attack, it seems. Will he fold under the pressure, or will he continue to fight till the bitter end? We'll have to wait and see.